Welcome to Date Like a French Woman, where we approach dating like a sacred healing journey rather than a quest. Welcome to a new episode of Date Like a French Woman. This is Muriel Felous, your host. And this week's episode will probably be very short because it's a holiday week. And I know you want to go and enjoy your 4th of July with your loved ones, go to the parades, go watch the fireworks. You're going to be busy. And I will be busy too. So today, in honor of the 4th of July, we're going to talk about independence, but a different kind of independence. We are going to talk about declaring our independence from the inner bully. The one that keeps things as they are, even though you are not satisfied with the reality that you have created, especially in your dating life. The one that imposes her beliefs to you, her thoughts to you, her limitations. This is someone that you need to get yourself free of. Because unless you can start changing all that, you will keep living the same reality over and over and over. Even if it's a different version of it, it will be the same kind of reality, same kind of dating life, where it doesn't lead to the results that you really long for. So, how do you change? As always, we know that, I've said that, I'm sure you know it. The first step to change is awareness. So start spotting your limitations. Start spotting the way you think about dating, the way you think about love, the way you think about men. Start noticing what keeps happening. What kind of situations do you find yourself in over and over? Are you maybe finding yourself constantly with people who don't show up when they're supposed to show up? People who cheat, or people who, or maybe nothing is happening. Nothing, an absence of activity. That's also a reality. Then listen to yourself and start developing some awareness about the sentences that come out of your mouth when you don't work on changing your beliefs. For example, when you talk with your girlfriends, or when you, let's say you go networking, or you go in the office and you have a conversation about love and dating and maybe your city, and suddenly you hear yourself saying, men only want younger women, or there are no good men in this city, or men are liars, or any kind of the sentence of or affirmation that is that general and appears as a truth. Start noticing, because what happens is we sometimes take our beliefs and our emotions for facts. I was coaching a woman last weekend, and as we were talking, as I was coaching her, I heard her state something about the person that she was dating as if it was a true fact. So I pointed out to her that, did she have the proof that it was his intention or what he was thinking? Or was she just taking the way she was feeling at that moment, her emotion, for a fact? We so often do that without realizing. We do that everywhere in our life. So from now on, start developing some awareness around the fact that it may only be your perception and not a true solid fact. If you can't find at least one exception to the rule, it's not a fact. It is a possibility of what can happen, but there can be something else. So start doubting what you think, what you feel, and start examining if, yes, it is a fact, is it true? And you can absolutely be sure that it's true. Or is it your perception? Because those are two different things, and if you want to start changing, you need to start acknowledging that there is hope for something else. The next point I would like to mention is, and that goes with what we were talking about, start noticing, what do you keep thinking in your head? When you are, for example, alone and maybe you feel lonely at night, do you start thinking, maybe that's going to be like this until the rest of my life, for the rest of my life? Maybe I will never find anybody. Or maybe any other maybe that comes from a fear that you keep thinking over and over and over. And that any belief that you reinforce every time you state it as a fact, every time you affirm it, every time you think it, those things need to go away. And I know they need to be dissolved and replaced by something else. I know, believe me, from experience and from working with women, that it is easier said than done. Because by the time you decide that you want to start believing something else, you're going to encounter resistance. And that's normal. Your brain is here to keep you in status quo because that's the known. That's much safer. The way our brain perceives it is much safer than any kind of unknown. And that prevents you from stating outside of that known. That brings so much fear that it can paralyze you. And sometimes it's tricky. You may, when the fear occurs, you may start thinking stuff like, let's say, there are men who want women my age. Or there are good men in this city. Or I'm going to find my companion for the rest of my life. And suddenly you hear a sentence in your head, you hear a thought that says, that's not possible. Or something that happens a lot, don't be naive. What do you think that just thinking differently will create something else? Come on, wake up. Or that's just what is. That's the way life is. And there is nothing to do. Another one is, what will people think of me if I start believing something that may look that naive, that actually miracles are possible? What will they say about me if I say that I believe in miracles? I'm a rational person. And by the way, you don't have to share what you think with other people. You don't have to, you can stop discussing it. And if you are a rational person, I will remind you, maybe that's the first time you're listening to me, so maybe this is going to be new to you. But there is a part of our brain called the reticular activating system. And in short, we call it the RAS. And this RAS function, the function in our brain is to filter our awakened state, our awake state. How will it filter? It will take the parameters that are the most relevant to us, like the thoughts that you keep thinking and reaffirming. It takes note of that and it says, okay, what is relevant for me is that there are not good men out there. And now the reticular activating system, because our brain cannot process all the information that is coming at us at every second from the world, that is way too much, the smell, the sight, the feeling on the skin, the sound, the colors, it's way too much, plus it's also busy doing stuff in our body like digesting our food. All that kind of stuff is on autopilot. So what it does is it literally filters what you are going to notice in the world so that it's the most relevant to you. It's extremely effective. So if you start affirming that there are no good men out there, that's going to be your reality. And that's what you are going to spot in the world. Any example, any situation, any person that you can attract, draw to you in your life to confirm that there are no good men out there will be drawn to you. So if you are a rational person, you can you can be at peace, because by affirming something else, your brain is going to work on noticing that in the world. And one way to get out of that trap, one way to give yourself permission and have your brain cooperate with you, is to try what I call a what if experiment. And the experiment is crucial here because it means you tell your brain that don't worry, we're safe, we can always go back to our old beliefs because it is only an experiment. So take on an experiment for 3 months and really start becoming aware, start changing, and because you know you can always go back, it feels safer. Try it and let me know. Send me some feedback. Let me know how different the feeling is. And actually, if you want to learn a process that I created that acronym, the Adios process, which is a way to create powerful inner shifts at a brain level, the way to rewire your brain. You can join me on Facebook Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, this Thursday or later. Because even if you watch later and you put a comment or a question, I always come back and answer. So we are going to work live with the Adios process. I will explain it. You'll have the opportunity to do it as I explain it. And that will give you a way, a map to start changing and to start getting free from that inner bully so that you can create a different reality and celebrate the 4th of July in your own way by declaring your independence from that bully. I look forward to seeing you on Facebook, and we'll get connected next week with another episode. Don't forget, if you like the show, please go and review and rate it on iTunes or anywhere you listen from. I would really appreciate. That would mean a lot to me. Until I see you again, go and free yourself.